Hey, welcome back everyone. This is my first update of my 2025 New Year's resolution, and I thought I'd show you a little bit of the progress I've made. Not much, but it's a start. Before I get going though, I'd like to share this postcard I received from viewer Joseph. It shows the Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado. And on the back side, got a nice $1 stamp franking and this promotional label for the Boston Philatelic Exhibition, International Philatelic Exhibition in 2026. There's been like 3 sheets of these, I think, produced. I've got the first one. I don't know which one this comes from, but I do need to get the other 2. I think there's going to be 4 altogether. So thanks a lot, Joseph. I appreciate that. So like I said, I did get started making some album pages, but I was kind of slowed down a bit, doing a lot of trial and error, getting refamiliarized with the AlbumEasy program, and then making adjustments, tweaking some of my code, changing fonts, adjusting the margins to maximize my mounting area within that narrow A4 paper. And like I said, the first one, well, I got this one done, this Tanganyika page. And wasted a lot of time on that because I got the page printed out, cut out all my mounts, attached the mounts to the page, and then stuck the stamps in, and found out that the mounts were just way too small. Well, not way too small, just too small for to show off the stamp well. See, you got a nice black margin around the stamps here, where there was very, very little margin previously, and actually practically no margin at the top because I measured wrong actually. But then another problem was that I found out that the stamp boxes, you'll see like here, I print out these stamp boxes that I then put the stamp over, and I found out that the stamp boxes were printing 1 millimeter smaller both directions, width and height, than the dimensions that I specified in the AlbumEasy program. So I went back and checked all my printer adjustments, settings, make sure that it was printing full size. It was not scaling down if it thought, that my printing area was too large. I just had it print straight. Just print what I tell you, all right? Still, it printed out 1 millimeter smaller. So I just decided, well, whatever box size I want, I'm going to have to specify it 1 millimeter larger in the AlbumEasy program. So altogether, that means that when I measure the width of the stamp, or the dimensions, the width and the height, I will add 5 millimeters to those numbers to give me the proper size mount, to give me a nice border around there. And this is what my finished page looks like. Still need number 19 from 1925. These other ones, 24 through 28, those are getting rather expensive, so I don't know when I'll be able to finish those. And then I made a page for my Latvia mapback stamp. As you may recall, I've shown this one before. Mystic Stamp had an offer for get my tongs here, for a block of 16 of Latvia #1. Not only the block of 16, also for a single, and an album page, which I no longer have because, as you recall the drill, I got rid of all the pages because they were too heavy to bring, and then I knew I would be using A4 size. And so I've created a new page for my Latvia stamp. As you recall, that is a map back. The first issue of Latvia, it was right after World War I, and there was a great shortage of paper, and they didn't have paper to print their stamps on. So they had to improvise. They found uh, large supplies of unused uh, German military maps that were only printed on one side, which were left behind, when the Germans left. So here's a nice chunk of the map. Oops, it's upside down also. And I really like this section of the map because you see a nice portion of the map, plus you get the legend also down here. So that's my block of Latvia stamps, and I created this page for it, or recreated it anyways, from my previous Mystic page, although it doesn't really look the same, but this is my version of it now. So I cut my mounts to size and I've mounted them on the page. You can see I got my single mounted there, and I just need to stick the block into its mount. See if I can pull it in. There we go, that's coming. Center it well here. It's close enough for government work. And then there's my finished page for Latvia #1. And then you notice there's no holes in the page. It's because I've come up with a system that pleases me anyways. As you noticed on the Tanganyika page, what I've done is I got these document sheets and I've trimmed off the margin, the whole side of the page, and actually trimmed a little off the top and the bottom also to make it come out flush with the paper. And then I have a nice plastic margin, which will be a little more durable than the paper holes. And I'll show you how that works exactly. Got my paper trimmer. First of all, I got to trim 11 millimeters off the top and off the bottom so that the page, as you can see, the sleeve is actually quite a bit larger than the paper itself. So I want the whole margin, the plastic strip, to be flush with the top of the page. So like I said, I trim off 11 millimeters off the top and off the bottom. Have my 11 millimeter mark set on my trimmer here. Now I want to trim it down to 1 inch wide, which would give me just a little bit of margin on the plastic sleeve to attach it to the page. So I'm making this 1 inch. Where's my 1 inch mark there? And 1 inch there. There we go. So now I have this will become the margin of my page. First, I have these acid-free mounting squares. It's little squares of double-sided tape that are acid-free, and where's my Latvia there? So I cut off a strip of the mounting squares. First, I got to take off it's got two backing papers naturally, so pull off one of them first. And actually, I cut these in half. Where's my scissors? I cut these in half when I use them because they're a little bit wide. They actually extend beyond the margin of my margin strip. So I cut that in half. Then I attach that to corner of the page there. Stick another one at the top edge. Put that in the center. Do the same on the other side. Put one in the center. Edge. And then top edge. I can one short and then take one of these over here. All right. Put it at the top. Open up my margin here. All right. Now to stick it in the margin. It's really hard to get it open and to just fit it in, all at once like that. So you have to start at one end. Stick the top of the page into the bottom of the page into the top of the margin, and then just slide it down. And when you got it, it's in place, and just tear off the other backing strip. Tack that down. Another backing strip. Tack that down. Another backing strip. Tack it down, and now do the same thing on the other side. There we go. Now we have a nice plastic edge to mount in the album. And like I said, that whereas if I used a hole punch, that would come well into the really close to the frame of the mounting area. And, you know, over time, also the pages will, I mean, the holes will get frayed and elongated from turning. So I kind of like this. As you can see, I even have a little more room I can bring the left and right margins out a little more, because in the past I have, you know, just barely had enough room to, you know, mount some of the larger sets where you might get 6 or 7 stamps across. So let me get these all in here. This binder I talked about before, a lighthouse binder. While I do like it, I love it in fact, uh, I have found one little quibble with it that I don't like, and I really think they should address this problem. And that's, so I got a few pages made here. And that's the ring mechanism. I've seen lots of binders where they give you tabs that you can actually pull to open the rings. These are very stiff rings, and to open the rings, you have to, well, I guess you can do it from one. I've been doing it. I've been trying to relieve the pressure on the rings so as not to, warp the alignment by grabbing both of them in the middle, but that still tends to put a little squeezing pressure on them, and over time, that has caused the rings to come out of alignment just slightly. You can see it doesn't close flush anymore. And that does tend to snag the pages when I turn them. All right then, so that's my method for making album pages and mounting them into my album. And I will show you where I stand right now then. Let me flip them all over to the front, and I'll show you what I've got. Starting with my Czechoslovakia page. This is my title page for my Czechoslovakia album. I am going to have to get a separate binder for this. There's a lot of pages, and he really deserves his own specialty album. So that's all I've gotten so far. No stamp pages. This is a legacy page of mine. You'll notice it is the American 8.5 by 11 size. I'm going to eventually have to redo it on an A4 sheet, but you see I put my plastic margin on there. So this is a page I made for ATA one-page exhibit that they had from their Facebook page a couple of years ago. So I made this on bass. That's my instrument. I started learning to play that in the 7th grade. Kind of like that little feller there. So that's that page. And this is my Miles Davis page. This is the page for my Miles Davis and Edith Piaf Pain. Probably my favorite modern U.S. issue. And at the top, what I've done is I scanned the back side. I'll show you the back side. I've got it hinged on the left so you can read the back. And what I did, I scanned the back side and then I printed out the title there onto my album page. And then I took the whole text, all that text on the back of the stamp pane, I printed out here for the explanatory text. And then you've seen this, and my page is snagging again on the ring. So here's my Great American series that I did show earlier. And a page. And the page I'm pretty sure I showed earlier also. I got the margins mounted on it now and the pages in the album. I've shown this before. And there's my Vacationland Austria series that I got mounted in the album now. My Latvia page. And my Tanganyika page. So that's where my album stands right now, and that's progress I've made towards my New Year's resolution. But let me count the pages real quick. All right, so I've got 14 pages, which is 14 pages more than I had the last time, right? So, okay, so now I've got a good head start on my album, and I've got my all of my specifications and tweaking done for my AlbumEasy templates, and so it should be easy breezy from here on out. And I hope to have a lot more pages next time I give an update. So stick around. And until then, this is Ted the Talking Stamp Collector wishing you all happy stamping.